Hey guys, and welcome back to Franchise Nation. I am your host, Moonlightswami, and today I'm bringing you guys the league recap for week number 13 for the New Orleans Saints franchise, as we are hot as Topeka, as we are on a 7-game winning streak. As of right now, we're 5-1 at home, 4-2 on the road, and while we don't have the best record in the league, we are creeping on the Miami Dolphins, who do sit atop the NFL and I guess atop the AFC. So let's take a look around the league and we'll see how everybody's doing. We've won some really close games, and I'm going to cover those in a minute because I want to just recognize where we could be if it wasn't for some of these performances. So first things first, the Seahawks sit atop the division at 9-3, Rams at 8-4, Cardinals at 5-7, and the Niners, hey, they're on the board, they're 2-10. NFC East, the Cowboys are in first, two teams tied for second, and the Giants round out the division in third. We lead the way with the Panthers 7-4-1. That is more than, that's what, a game and a half behind us. 2 in the win column, 1 in the loss column. Falcons 7-5, Bucks 6-6. There are a lot of good teams in this division, and we're taking on the Falcons this week. Lions 7-5, Packers 6-6, Vikings 5-7, Bears 4-8. AFC, Chiefs and Chargers lead the way, Broncos and Raiders well behind. AFC, it's the Dolphins, then the Patriots. Don't sleep on the Patriots. Jets 5-6-1, Bills 4-8. The Jaguars at top the division. Colts have won 3 straight. They're finally coming back from that lull earlier in the year. The defending Super Bowl champions making a push. They're only 2-3 at home though, so they've been pretty much road warriors. Texans 7-5, Titans 5-6-1. AFC North, God, this division is just terrible, which means that with one more loss by Bengals or Ravens, we will have a team below 500 making the playoffs yet again. Steelers and Browns at 3-9. The Steelers have won 3 straight though. So the team that started 0-9 with just a terrible point differential is finally turning around. We've had a knack for winning the close games. Obviously, if you guys remember that game against the Steelers, we did come around and take this game late with a touchdown over them, so that's one. They are a terrible team. After that, we did beat the Carolina Panthers when we did start out pretty slow. We were down pretty handily. It was 23-13, and we came back and won that, so that's 2 fourth quarter comebacks. After that, we beat the Ravens in dramatic fashion, that's 3. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we did come back and win that in dramatic fashion. That's 4 fourth quarter comebacks. After that, we killed the Eagles, and then we came back against the Redskins 3 times from 10 points down, and that's 5 fourth quarter comebacks of our 9 victories. That is our offense leading the way. Obviously, we've stalled at times. We did have that 3-game losing streak in the middle, but that's the only grouping of games that we have lost, and we did lose a fourth quarter comeback situation. If I do remember correctly, we were leading, and then we weren't, and then we took the lead, and then I don't remember exactly. So technically, there might have been 6 fourth quarter comebacks, but we did end up squandering that game away. So with that being said, yeah, we did take the lead late. It was 22-21 or 23-21, and we kicked the field goal, take a 1-point lead, and then they drove down the field. So we've won a lot of really close games. That's the point. And it's led by our offense, which I'll show you right now. Michael Wong is just shy of 400 pass attempts, 3,400 yards, 69%, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks. He's played well for a rookie. He's played well for a veteran. He's had his ups and downs, but he's been the primary catalyst for us late in games. 288 yards per game, 8.7 yards per attempt, 29 sacks on the season. He's been getting hit, but he's made big plays. Raheem Blackman has been our MVP, though. No matter what Michael Wong has done, Raheem Blackman has been a consistent killer for us. 12 touchdowns, 5.4 yards per carry, 2 fumbles, but 21 broken tackles. But more importantly is his role as a receiver for us. There he is, 47 receptions. He single-handedly won us the game against Baltimore earlier in the season. 4 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins leading the way. He's taken over the crown for most receptions on the team with some really great performances. It took a little while to gain some chemistry, but he has gotten it. Kent Clements has been very good for us, consistent weapon. DeMarcus Edens has been a bit of a surprise in his second year out of Northern Iowa, undrafted free agent, but he's done a really good job for us at tight end. And then Michael Thomas, even though he's a little bit lower on the charts, he has been, when we need a reception, he's there almost every single time. He's had a couple drops, but he has been phenomenal for us, and Naquan Oliver's had a role. And then outside of that, we've had a little bit from other guys, but it's really been these 5. This is the core that we like to run. We like to run that 3x1 set a lot, and this is what we like to do. And Naquan Oliver definitely has had a role at times, but all in all, I think we've had some really good success. In terms of blocking, Corey Stuvant's had a tough time in pass pro, but he's been good as a run blocker. Trelon Kraft, same thing. Armstead's been phenomenal. Sean Coleman was decent, not good enough. And David Krenzel's been very solid. And then you have Sebastian Vollmer, who's been pretty good for us. Not good enough that we're not going to replace the right tackle spot this offseason, but he has been good. On defense, Shad Houston leads the way at middle linebacker. Von Bell, kind of moving around now. He's at free safety. Has been good. John Hastings. Hastings has been really good for us. Stephon Anthony, not so much. And it's not because of these numbers, because these numbers look fine. It's the fact that he gets kind of crumpled often at linebacker, and in coverage, he has just been awful. So he is going to be a free agent this season. The linebacker class is not ideal. So I would like to franchise tag him because I don't want to sign him to a long-term deal. But the franchise tag is the option that I think we'll have to take a look at, because I'm not sold on him. DeMarco Kidd's made a lot of plays for us before getting benched. Not in coverage, though. He's been decent in run stopping, but he's been a good third safety. Jocqua Fassitt's been phenomenal for us. Sheldon Rankins up the middle has been very consistent and solid. He's finally blooming. Sanchez McNeil, been an alright nickel, been serviceable. Not good, not bad, but he's been serviceable. We do lack speed at corner, which is definitely something that we need to consider. 88 speed there, 87 speed there. Delvin Breaux is also declining. He's 90 speed, but he's getting older. He's almost 29. Then we have David Onyemata, who has been... He's been alright. Nothing too special. Cameron Jordan, been his old self when he's been healthy, and Nichols Shillings has been the stud. Nichols Shillings has been phenomenal with his 87 speed, his tackling, his block shedding. He's getting there in terms of pass rush moves, but he chases down guys with the quickness. And Sam Moreland. Let's talk about Sam Moreland a little bit. He has not started much, but this young man out of NC State has had a huge contribution to the team in his limited action. Paul Kruger's been alright. Kendall Fuller's been decent. And after that, Barry Tanner's been good. We might give him a shot at starting because he is just ridiculously strong up the middle. And Onyemata hasn't been all that good. Not to say that he's a bad player, it's just... I feel like it wouldn't hurt to give him a day where we can just say, okay, let's try Barry Tanner instead at defensive tackle. He's 21 in comparison to Onyemata, who's 24. And we do need to kind of figure out that whole role. Obviously, kicking-wise, Will Lutz has been superb. He's only had a block. He missed an extra point, but he's had 2 kicks blocked. And then Javier Moran has had 2 blocked kicks, 24 punts inside the 20, and only 3 touchbacks. I mean, he's been extremely consistent for us. Taking a look around the league, though, Andy Dalton leads the way in passing yards, followed by Big Ben, then Michael Wong. In terms of touchdown to interception, Andy Dalton 27-6, Michael Wong 26-10, Darren Lane turning things around, Russell Wilson, he's been the front runner for MVP 24-6, Matt Ryan 23-8, Tom Brady 23-9, Andrew Luck, Mariota, Blake Bortles. What in the world is Blake doing? My goodness. Wow, Tom Brady only played 8 games. That means he's hurt. That was phenomenal for 8 games. Jeez. But Bortles looking pretty solid for them. And he's kind of evolved into that quarterback that they expected out of him, which a lot of people didn't believe he would ever do. Then there's Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Joe Flacco, 16 touchdowns to only 2 picks in 7 games. As you know, he missed time, and he's been trying to make up for it. Despite all of the success as a team, Jared Goff, 15 touchdowns, 7 picks. Cortez Meeks is getting time at quarterback. He has played in 469 downs, and he's been good for them. 60%, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. Tannehill, Brody Cochran, been disappointing. Rodgers has been extremely disappointing. 12 touchdowns, 11 picks. Rodgers, how can you be falling off like this, man? Larry Flynn's been solid. Nate Sudfeld, like I said, it looked decent. Dak Prescott, Colby Ditka, not bad. In terms of running backs, well, Raheem Blackman leading the way yet again. Doesn't have the most carries, though. He is not even top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8th, which is fantastic. Cedric Spikes has been pretty good for Tennessee. Not a great yard per carry. None of these top guys are. Ezekiel Elliott's been good, though. So is Todd Gurley. Touchdowns. Raheem Blackman leads the way. Elliott and Yeldon. Then Jarvis Cochran. Then Giovanni Bernard, who has been consistently really good for the Bengals. Wow, really good stats, too. The little 5'9" guy. Dion Lewis making the most of his carries. Danny Amendola, most receptions, followed by Julius Thomas, T.Y. Hilton, Doug Baldwin. Cruz, Gronkowski, A.J. Green. Devin Hollis replacing DeAndre Hopkins. He's been getting a lot of targets. Travis Kelce, Decker, Hearns, Marshall, LaFell. Okay, touchdowns. This is the big one. 11 for Coco McLeod, who was our #1 wide receiver in last year's class. Then Keenan Allen, then Hopkins, then Graham, then Cruz, then Seth Roberts. Seth Roberts making the most of his opportunities for Atlanta. Got to watch out for him. Josh Huff, and 7 for Gio as a receiver, too. Judah McClain, a good second season. And LaJarvis Ball, someone who we definitely mentioned. He is so fast. He's a good player, but he's being weighed down by Carson Wentz, it seems. Blocking. Taylor Decker and Josh Wells are the 2 worst. Matt Tobin, Russell Okung, Sean Shaughnessy. He's just not developing properly over at right tackle. Jared Veldier, Matt Khalil, Brandon Cartwright. Good player, just struggling for Tampa Bay. Kind of similarly to how Corey Stuvance is. On defense, here we see a bunch of guys with tackles. I know that Chad Houston had 107, so he would be top of the list, or near it. Not top, but Bernardrick McKinney leading the way. Okay, tackles for a loss in the AFC, Cameron Hayward, Mo Wilkerson, Watt, Darius Poe, David Snead. David Snead has been remarkable for this Browns team. I'm surprised he's not a superstar by now. Sacks, Khalil Mack with 20 through 12 games. Oh my lord. Richardson, 14. Shane Ray has been really good. Cameron Wake, Greg Hardy, Geno Atkins. Interceptions, 5 for Revis. Hey, he's sticking around. Joe Hayden, 4. Artie Burns trying to make a name for himself. Denitri McCown. Pretty good hands for Tennessee. All right. On to the NFC. Tackles. Eric Kendricks, Navarro Bowman, Chad Houston's 105, sorry. So he's up there. Not too many guys over that mark. Derek Sampe for New York, looking solid as a 3-4 edge, making his mark. Tackles for a loss, Linval Joseph, Fletcher Cox, and then, hey look, John Hastings, Chad Houston, Jonathan Hankins, Roy McAllister, and Sheldon Rankins. So we're right up there. Roy McAllister, good player. Nickel Shillin's right up there. Shillings is going to be a star, man. Sacks, 17 for Robert Quinn, 15.5 for Graham. Okay. Not bad. Nickel Shillin's right up there, though. In terms of downs played, 490 in comparison to these guys. It's not even close. Interceptions, last stat for this. Luke Kuechly with 7. Scandrick, Sam Shields, Levante David, Danny Trevathan, Dwayne Gratz, EJ Gaines, Pat Pete, Rayvon Rudolph. Have to watch out for that superstar for Atlanta in his second season. He's really quite talented. Andre Diggs, etc. Kicking, no one is better than Will Lutz. No one's even close, honestly. Connor Barth, I guess, is decently close, but 23 for 24 and only misses a block. Not bad. Longest field goal made of the season, Chandler Catanzaro at 57, tied with Graham Gano and Dustin Hopkins. In terms of punts, anybody remotely in the area of our main man, Javier Moran? Only Bradley Pinion, who is just a good kicker. I mean, he actually is a pretty good kicker, punter. And touchbacks, probably a lot from Matt Darr. Okay, not too bad. Longest punt of the season goes to Brad Wing, Matt Bosher, and then Javier Moran right there with him. So Moran has been excellent, and you really can't expect anything else from this guy. I mean, just look at that. He's just phenomenal. And he's going to have a tremendous offseason. He'll be like a 99 overall. Kick return, punt return. Only 1 for the NFC. Oh, I'm looking at NFC still. I'm stupid. Kicking. Field goal percentage. And Andrew Franks is up there. Okay, anybody longer now? McManus, 58%. Okay. Or 58 yards. Okay. Punts. Inside the 20, anyone in his vicinity? Nope. Brad Nortman's up there. Longest punt. 84 yards? Jordan Berry, man. Okay. Kick return. Okay, here are the touchdowns. 2 for Shad Green, 2 for T.Y., 1 for a bunch of other players. Punt returns. 1 for Tavon, 1 for Judah. And that's really it. In terms of stats, we're 4th in offensive yards, but we're 25th in defensive. That's okay, because we pride ourselves on stopping scoring and scoring ourselves. 3rd in points scored, 14th in points allowed. We can be better. And while we have won some big games in terms of shootouts, we still need to win some of those games that, win them a little bit more convincingly, and hopefully we can do that against the Atlanta Falcons this week. Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck were your offensive players of the week. William Hayes, Malik Jackson. Then Wilson and Roethlisberger, Mack and Shields. And then Palmer and Trumaine Johnson, Flacco and Damian Swan, the former Saint. Yearly awards. Rakeem Blackman's number 2. Behind Russell Wilson, then Dalton, then Michael Wong, Blake Bortles, Phillip Rivers, Newton, Marcus Mariota, Matt Ryan, Andrew Luck. Could we actually win MVP this year from one of our players? That would be awesome. Coach of the year, it's Gase, then us, Pete Carroll, Demetrius Turner. We're right up there. We're not going to go away without a fight, especially down the stretch. Sean Payton's done a pretty good job in Indianapolis. He obviously won a Super Bowl there. On to the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Blackman's number 2, Wong number 4, Newton number 3. Defensive, okay, nobody from us. Offensive Rookie, it's Wong. We might get somebody else on there. Defensive, Nickel Shillings number 3. And that's it for defensive. James Benedict, Peter DeMarco up there ahead of him. Quarterback, it's Michael Wong. Running back, it's Rakeem Blackman. Wide receiver, it's DeAndre Hopkins. O-line, Teron Armstead. D-line, well, we tried. Linebacker, that's subjective. Defensive back, I can understand not having anybody there. And then kicker is definitely going to be Will Lutz. So that pretty much wraps things up for this episode of the League Recap. We will be taking on the Atlanta Falcons this week, who sit at 7-5. We will be playing them at home. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am Moonlightswami, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace!